This video is going to go over literal equations and the review assignment. Now, since your review assignment is on ALEKS, these will not match up exactly to the problems that you get, but they should be very similar, and I plan on including examples of all kinds. So click through the video and look up the problems that you need help with. Let's go ahead and get started. Question number one. On question number one, you could have two different options. We're going to start with option number one. So solve for n. As I look at this problem, okay, draw your line of balance, find n. It's on the left-hand side. If I'm solving for n, I need to isolate it. This says n minus 12. So how do I get rid of the minus 12? Because I just want n. I'm going to do the opposite, so plus 12. I make sure I do that on both sides, and I'm left with n is still there. Minus 12 and plus 12 zero out equals, now these two terms, m plus 12, do they combine? Are they like terms? Well, this has an m and 12 does not, so they are separate terms, and I'm going to leave them as is. And there's my answer. Solve for y. Okay, so on this problem, I used addition to solve for my variable. On this one, I'm going to use subtraction. So I notice that there's my y. This is a positive 20. I'm going to subtract to get rid of it. And I am left with y is equal to x minus 20. I write it side to side instead of up and down, and I do notice that there are no like terms, so that's my answer. Questions 2 and 3. Questions 2 and 3 are of similar structure. They may look like this. I'm going to solve each of these. So I'm going to draw my line, identify the variable I want to solve for, and let's go ahead and solve. I see that this says x minus y minus 7. So because they are both subtraction, I'm going to undo these both with addition. Now, which one do you get rid of first? Hey, well, order of operations says addition and subtraction are on the same level, so I'm going to get rid of them. It does not matter which one I get rid of first. So I just work furthest to closest to give myself a structure. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. That leaves me with a plus 7 is equal to x minus y, and that's gone now. How do you get rid of minus y? I'm going to add y. Now you might ask, well, where do you know to add y underneath the a underneath the 7? It doesn't matter because, as you can see, none of them combine, none of them are like terms. So I'm just going to write them all separately anyway. And that's my answer. A plus 7 plus y equals x. Okay, solve for c. Drawing my line, here's c. These are all being combined with addition, so I'm going to subtract to get rid of it. So minus a. Make sure p stays positive and the a stays negative. Equals, that's gone. 4 plus c. In this step, I want to get rid of the 4 because I want to keep c by itself, so I'm going to minus 4. It doesn't matter where I subtract the 4 from. I just always do it closest to my equal sign. So I have p stays positive, a stays negative, and 4 stays negative. Equals, that zeroes out, and I'm left with c, which is what I want. So my answer is p minus a minus 4 equals c. Question number 4 could look like one of the following. Solve for w. Now this time, there's not addition or subtraction going on, there's multiplication. This means 9 times w. So how do I undo timesing? I use division, and I'm going to use the fraction bar, my fancy division symbol, divide by 9, and if I do it on one side, I do it on the other. What am I left with? Okay, remember I copy and paste when I've got division, is equal to w, and that's my answer. Solve for a. I'm going to, because this is division, there's my a. I'm going to undo division with multiplication. What am I dividing by? This says a divided by 2, so I'm going to undo it by timesing by 2. If I do it on one side, I'm going to do it on the other, and I'm left with 2w 2 times W is equal to, well, what happens on this other side? Now, the timesing by 2 and the dividing by 2 undo each other, and I don't write any 2's at all, and I'm left with A equals 2 times W, and that's my final answer. All right, question number 5. I've drawn my line, I circle L, and I notice that there's multiplication going on. This means 10 times by L times by W. But there's 2 multiplications going on right around L. So there and there. Because they're both multiplication, I can undo with division at the same time. So I'm going to undo. I'm going to use my fraction division symbol. And I'm going to say, okay, I need to keep L, so I'm not going to put L in the denominator. I don't want to divide by L. But I do want to get rid of 10, so I'm going to times by 10 and divide by 10, and that's going to eliminate. This is timesing by W, so I'm going to divide by W, and this is going to eliminate. And I'm going to make sure that I divide by the same things on the right hand side too. So I'm going to divide by 10 and W, and you'll notice nothing cancels out because I'm not timesing or dividing by anything at the same time. What am I left with? Well, just the L that I have circled over here, and I'm going to copy and paste. And that's my answer. Okay, question 6, 7, and 8 are all the same type of problem, but you might see one of the following types of problems. So I'm going to go through, you can see 3 different types of examples just to make sure we got our hand at this. So, solve for M. So here is M. What operations are going on? I see that there's multiplication right here. That means 3 times M. How do I undo multiplication? I'm going to use division. I'm also noticing that the N, if I draw my line of balance, the N is also on the same side as the M, so I need to get rid of it. How is it being combined? Well, it is a positive N and is being added, combined with a 3N. So I'm going to, since I have addition, I'm going to use subtraction. Now comes the time when I have to remember, if I'm solving an equation, what would I get rid of first? The addition, or would I get rid of the multiplication? Remember, we do the order of operations backwards. So addition and subtraction we're going to take care of first before multiplication and division. So how do I get rid of the N? Well, I do the opposite. Since this is a plus N, I'm going to minus N. I'm going to do that from both sides. Let's bring down what we have left over. These are not like terms, so I'm just going to write them side by side. D comes first because it's on top. Minus N comes second. This is gone, zeroes out, and I'm left with a positive 3M. This still means multiply, and I still want the M to be by itself. So I undo multiplication. We decided with division. So I'm going to use my fraction division symbol, divided by 3, and on the left-hand side, make sure you draw a big fraction bar, a big division symbol underneath the D minus N, and I'm going to put a 3 in the denominator. How does that simplify? Well, there's nothing for me to simplify here, so I'm going to copy and paste. D minus N all divided by 3 equals, and on the right-hand side, the timesing by 3 and dividing by 3 undo each other, and I'm left with M. So there's my M by itself. I have my final answer. Let's go ahead and look at number 7. Solving for R. Here's my R. I've got a timesing by 4 times R, and I have a subtraction sign. I'm going to undo the multiplication with division, undo the subtraction with addition. Which do I get rid of first? Remember, we're doing order of operations backwards. Any adding or subtracting comes before multiplication and getting rid of multiplication and division. So I want to get rid of the minus S. The opposite of minusing S is adding S. I'm going to add it to both sides. And I have K plus S is equal to 4R. And last but not least, this multiplication I'm going to get rid of with division. Notice again that I'm putting a big division symbol under all of it. And I'm going to, canceled out the times by 4 and the divided by 4. Nothing over here cancels out, so I'm going to copy and paste. And there's my answer. Last one. Solve for N. Here's N. Here's my line. What do I need to get rid of? Remember, not D. It's on the other side. I need to get rid of 4m and the plus and this 9. Positive 9. How do I get rid of each thing? Well, I'm going to get rid of the 9 because it's being multiplied. I'm going to get rid of it with division. Now, don't get tricked into thinking you need to get rid of 4 and m separately. You can get rid of them together. The whole 4m combo is being added, so I'm going to, it's being added, so I'm going to subtract. Which do I do first? I want to do addition first, multiplication second. Okay, let's go ahead and try this then. I'm going to minus 4m from both sides. These are D and M are not like terms, so I'm going to leave them separate. D minus 4m is equal to, gone, 4m and minus 4m, gone, and I'm left with 9n. This is still multiplication, so I'm going to undo with my division, with my fraction bar, divide everything over here by 9, copy and paste to my final answer. That can't be simplified. And don't worry, you should not have to deal with any questions that can be simplified. I wouldn't worry about it. I just leave this as your final answer. All right, if you have any questions or any troubles on your assignment, please reach out. Good luck, and you've got this.